y'all really ready? If this conversation that I'm about to have with my amazing pastor does not force you to bloom, then I don't know what will. I am honestly so excited to be in the presence of this amazing woman that honestly just makes my relationship with God easier and understandable. And I don't feel so, like sometimes when you go to church, you gotta feel all uptight, like, oh, I got a little shoulder out, Like, I honestly feel like I can be myself around her, and she's helped me develop and cultivate a relationship with God like no other. And I was like, you have to be at Bloom Conference because of her, when I met her 2 years ago, it is because of her that I started to bloom, not only on the outside, but on the inside as well. So I want to bring to the stage, DJ, play some music, some music. Yes, like Real Talk Kill!
To fuck something up. Tonight I fuck something. I need some drink in my cup.
Yes! Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Hi guys. How are y'all?
Make some noise if y'all know her. Do you see your tribe?
Y'all are gorgeous. I mean, I can't even contain myself. Like, beauty all up in this room. I'm so honored to be with you.
Yes, thank you.
Is she not amazing? Y'all listen to me, and I want to brag on her just a minute because I have been talking to her. I know her staff, because I know her. And every single person that I've talked to in that back, they're serving her. Because honor is earned. You cannot demand honor or a title, but they give it to her because every single one of them have said that she walked in their life in a point when they had lost everything. And that's the real key to making legacy in this world, is how are you leaving rooms when you walk in? And so I give it up to you because, man, you made a mark on these people's lives, and you can tell by the way they serve with such joy. And that's huge in this industry, that you have people that love you and are loyal to you. So there you go. I'm mama.
Yes.
That's
Thank
my mama
you.
moment.
It means so much. It means so much, honestly. Running a business is not easy. Having a big staff, like, this is the first time I've ever, like, okay, what was her name again? Like, having a large staff is totally not easy as well. But to be able to create a business where they can come to work and be themselves, and they can come to work and find their own personal and professional goals met within my goal. So I'm honestly so happy to be able to create and cultivate rooms like this. And
can you believe you're only 36?
I feel
36. Like, y'all, like, this is an example that when you have your heart right, and I talk about this all the time because you can get BBLs, you can get boob jobs, you can get Botox, you can get facelifts, you can get the best hair on the planet, but if your heart is ugly, you're ugly. Like, listen, your character, look, your charisma will get you in the door, but your character keeps you there. And so you're 36, and I'm proud of you for that. And this is proof, and this is why y'all came out to this event, was because there's something about this woman right here that is shifting atmospheres, and it's her heart posture. And so out in this world, as you can see on social media, man, social media, it will have you hating your husband because her husband looks like he stepped out of GQs and yours looks like he stepped out of DQ. And you're like, y'all ready to throw it all away, you know what I'm saying? Because social media is highlight reels. So if anything y'all get out of this conference, I hope you get out of watching her, is a good heart. You can go to school and have more degrees than a thermometer. But if you ain't got no charisma and no character, you ain't going nowhere, right? Because there's so many beautiful people in this world, and so you're 36, and I'm proud of you for that.
Thank you.
And why didn't I get a pink top? Just kidding. kidding.
Showing too much. We got to put you a turtleneck. No. You know the church folks gonna get you. Okay, you got a book coming out. Wait, hold on. You guys, we are on another episode of the Secret Recipe Podcast, and my amazing friend and pastor, Real Talk Kim, just totally made me forget that we were on this podcast. So welcome to the Secret Recipe Podcast. For this episode, I really want to be able to inspire the girl that feels like life is over, and I need to tell her, girl, get up. You have a book that is coming out.
I got a new book. So, yo, I was in special ed my whole life. Like, I literally thought I was VIP when they would say all the kids can go to special ed class. I would get up and pounce out like, yeah, I'm special. And so I've always been, because I was raised in a church family, and I was like, no, I'm going to be like this boss chick, right? I was selling suckers from Shoney's that was free. I'd go steal them. Every Sunday night, my parents would be in there eating after church, because that's what church people do, they eat, you know? And so they were eating, and I'm stuffing my purse with the free suckers, and I'm making like $50 a week on free suckers. And so I was wanting to be a business person, right? Well, all of a sudden, at about 40, so I was married for 18 years. Now, I was in religion that said you can't get divorced, because if you get divorced, you're going to hell on a slip and slide. Well, I told this dude for 18 years, I don't need no man. I woke up one day and didn't have one. I was like, what happened? But that was the best thing that ever happened to me, y'all, because I hit rock bottom and found out who the rock was at the bottom, which was Jesus. And in that season, I wrote a book, my very first book with my special ed self. I don't know where commas go, but that's what editors are for. And
You know they go in the bank account. That's all that matters.
Now I know where my money is, okay? Every dime. But I lost everything at 36, and then at 41, I was working at Bloomingdale's and making $13 an hour, putting makeup on people. And if you get close to me, my eyebrows are not twins. I don't know how I did y'all's makeup for 5 years, but I did. I would just tell you how pretty you were all day. I'd be like, girl, you don't even need no blush. You look so beautiful. Your eyebrows are just floating and your lashes are like feathers. I just put gloss on everybody. But in that season, I learned how to be a pastor because I was loving people. I went from hating people to loving people, and went through that divorce, and man, I found me in that divorce. I found me, and in that whole process, I have put together 4 books. This is my 5th book, and it's my first 6-figure book deal. Won't he do it? Special ed self right up in here. Very proud of it. They even asked me the other day, Skittles, they said, no, we know pastors got some learning disability problems. So do you think she'll be able to read her own book for the audience? I said, I ain't stupid. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know where comments go.
Can't write it fully.
But I wrote a book, and it'll be out in August, and it's called You Gotta Get Up. Like, you can lay down all you want, but ain't nobody coming to pick you up till you pick your big old thick thigh up and move. You may not know where you're going, baby, but you can move. Just pull that thick thigh. Just pull it. You gotta get up.
So for the girl that is in that space and barely made it to this conference, barely made it in this room today, how do they get up if they don't have that relationship with God? I remember being on an airbed, and I don't know if y'all know, but the airbed is the closest thing to the ground. Like, sometimes when it be deflating, you just might as well roll over the ground. I think that's how I got my relationship with God, honestly. I just ended up on the floor. Was like, I might as well
go
pray.
Flat so you would pray.
I was like, well, I might as well pray myself out of this situation. So, but for that person that doesn't understand, that doesn't feel like they can hear God, that doesn't feel like, at one point in time, I think he forgot about me. Yeah. I truly thought that it's so many other people out there. He's blessing so many other people. He forgot about me. Like, I'm not chosen. He didn't choose me. What about those girls? How do we force them to get up?
Well, you know, I didn't know God either. Like, I was singing on platforms, fill me up till I overflow. I didn't want to overflow. I didn't want him to fill me up. Like, I really didn't know who God was being raised in a preacher's home. And it wasn't until I got to that place. I remember laying in my bed one night at my mama's house, probably when I was about 38 years old, and my 2 sons were devastated from this divorce, and people were talking about me, and I did everything they said I did. They were saying I was nay-naying, and I was nay-naying on that bar. And I'd be like, but I'm praying now. But I did it. No, I did it. And I laid in that fetal position in my bedroom, and I cried, man. I was crying till the joints of my fingers were aching. And I was like, God, you forgot about me. Like, I guess I was bad in baby heaven. Like, you know, you're blessing everybody around me but me. And I said, just take this pain away from me. And y'all, for the first time in my life at 38 years old, a spirit, because we all think God talks to us like, Kimberly, don't go right. He ain't doing that. It's that still small voice inside of you, man, that's like, girl, get up, move. Today you got a little extra zeal. It's getting up and saying, you know what, God, you either gonna catch me when I fly, or you're gonna catch me if I fall, or you're gonna teach me how to fly, but I ain't staying here. It's at that point when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, when you get tired of crying about the same thing, because ain't nothing changing crying. There ain't no money in your emotions, and social media don't care. Nobody cares if you unfollow people. Nobody cares if you're going through it. They just don't care. And when you get to a place where you realize that thieves don't rob empty vaults. The devil is not fighting you, and spirits are not fighting you because you're weak. You're being fought because there's something on the inside of you. You hear me? There's something on the inside of you that is so powerful that you're gonna shift the world. You're gonna change atmospheres. You are the generational curse breaker in your family. You, queen, are the one that's gotta get up. You gotta get up. That's how God does it. He's not a genie in a bottle. He's not gonna just do it for you. And that sage you're burning, that stuff ain't doing it either. You hear me? The stones, rub them, you're supposed to wear them. But there is a God that when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you say, I refuse to stabilize what God's shaking me free from. And I refuse to give CPR to dead situations, even my own pitiful, miserable self. I'm getting up and I'm praising my way through this thing. And I'm not going to call Debbie Downer. I'm not going to take constructive criticism from people that ain't never constructed nothing. And I'm not gonna need validation from people that ain't valid. I'm gonna get up and I'm going where I am celebrated and not tolerated, because that's who God made me to be. That's when things shift. That's when things shift. That is when things shift, when you stop allowing people to treat you like a paper plate when God created you to be fine china. You hear me? You might have done everything they said you did, but you're a king's kid. You're a daughter of the Most High. You are the one in your family that will be the first millionaire. You know what Amos 9:13 said? Amos 9:13 said, it won't be long now. God's decree said things are about to happen so fast. Your head is about to spin. Blessing upon blessing, you won't be able to keep up. That is how you get up. You get tired of being down. Because it's in you. It's in you. The day you were being born, you came out of your mama, and doctors heard why, but hell heard purpose, destiny, a game changer, a nation shifter, a demon slayer, a woman that can take a licking and keep on ticking. That's who you are, and don't you ever forget it.
I don't know.
Don't you forget it. Don't you ever forget it. Don't you ever let anybody take your identity. Don't you ever grovel again. Don't you ever go back to that toxic relationship that showed you that you weren't nothing. Don't you dare settle. You're a king's kid. You might be on a mattress today, but you won't be on it tomorrow. Here's why. Here's why. Sometimes God will break your spirit to save your soul. Here's what I'm talking about. Sometimes he didn't answer that prayer because you had something better coming. That rejection was not necessarily someone wanting out of your life, but it was somebody God needed out of your future. Their character couldn't keep up with your purpose. What you settle for in your broken season makes you disgusted in your healed season.
Kim, so you publicly You publicly found out that you needed to leave your marriage. How did you get through that?
I was preaching in Biloxi, Mississippi, and all of a sudden, pastor friends were calling. I'm a pastor, right? And I'm a woman pastor. And it's, you know, you're supposed to have a man. Well, I'm a woman pastor. And so I never dreamed in a million years that I'd be put back in this position, but the enemy always fights you at the place of your weakness. Mine was, I am an alpha female, but I want a man to tell, where are we going? What are we doing? Where are we going? What can I buy? What do you want me to get? Which one do you want to eat? You want to eat cookies at midnight? Let me go make them for you. I'm an alpha female, but I want to be soft. I want to be taken care of. So that was where the enemy always fought me. And I woke up one day, and these people are calling me and saying, well, you on shade room? Your husband's cheating with your followers. I was like, what? He was old, too.
Like it was on the shade room?
Yeah, girl. You know, shade room likes me, though. Shade room fights for me. I don't know why I got favor with shade room, but they like me. I don't know why. Y'all, shh.
Because you got soul.
They good to me, but they were taking up for me. They were saying, does anybody know who this man is? And everybody's like, that's your husband. They were like, that's what's all Kim's husband. I was like, oh, dear God. And thankfully, here's what God will do. God knew that man's character couldn't keep up with my purpose. And I married him in a very broken state. And when I started to elevate, his character couldn't keep up. And so what will God do? He will expose the snakes. Because the devil don't just come in a pitchfork and horns. He comes in bro, sis, boo, hey, sugar thing, come to daddy, okay? And in that season, he exposed him for me. And it was right before the pandemic. And he served me divorce papers. He thought I was going to fight because he thought I would think I was losing my ministry. Because church, you know, we ain't supposed to get divorced. And he thought I was going to come back groveling. I looked at him and I said, get your stuff and don't you ever come back. And elevation, y'all listen to me, isolation in your life only means elevation. When you feel isolated and you feel lonely, here's why. It's like the rocket boosters have to fall off of the rocket when they get to a certain altitude. If those rocket boosters stay on longer than they need to, they will pull down the rocket. And so he was a rocket booster that had to fall. Not even necessarily that he was bad. Like, we ain't gonna talk about him. But his character just couldn't keep up with where I was going. And as soon as he fell off the boat, God took me and just shot me like a cannon. I didn't lose anything. This is why you can't be petty. When someone does you dirty, let your character outlive their lies. Don't you clap back. Don't you give them a second. Don't you call nobody and tell them what they did to you. Just keep flying. Elevate, elevate, elevate. That's the greatest comeback story on the planet. God can't fight your battle if you're too busy fighting it. That's how I found out. Kept my heart right, never made an announcement. Just changed my name, never said a word. And I kept on elevating. Didn't have to give one press release because God will do it for you.
Talking about press release and business and elevation, church people can make it seem as if having a successful business is a bad thing. Having money and success and wealth is a bad thing. I grew up in a very strict church, so me wanting to become an entrepreneur, they were like, what? You're a PK? What? You should be being a doctor or a lawyer. You don't want to do this. And it kind of made me feel like I had to separate my business from God or my business from church. And how many other women that are operating their business and they're like, okay, I don't want to put too much of God in my business because
So sad.
Yes. How is it that someone is able to operate in a space of purpose while still serving God?
Man, because my Bible says the wealth of the wicked is stored up for us. When you live a right life and you're living for one audience, which is God, he blesses you. He doesn't want you driving around with no hoopty. Like, that's a bad mark on him. That's saying you don't tithe. You know what I'm saying? It's saying that you don't take care of the things of life. He wants you to be blessed. And so how I do it, I've been on preachers and sneakers. I've been on prophets and watches. It's free publicity. I just look at it like it's free publicity. I'm so busy living my best life, dreaming. It's watching all my dreams come true. I do not care what church people think. Church people bored. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them bored. That's why we got to get up and we got to be all that for Jesus and rock Jesus and put Jesus in your business. Y'all think y'all doing good right now? Put a little bit of Jesus in your business. You watch, it is attractive to people because they want Jesus, but out there they've made it too messy. So they need y'all to get up and make a pure relationship with Jesus so that we can show that God is the one that's endorsing us. And that's why Black China, that's why all these people are having an awakening, because they're realizing that the only true and living peace comes from God. It don't come from that. Hey, that Maybach's awesome, but she got a pink Bentley out there too. That's not why she's got joy. Her joy is in God. Her joy is in her marriage. Her joy is in her child, and all this other stuff's perks. It's just a benefit of serving God and keeping your heart right. When you keep your heart right, blessings will chase you down and follow you. You will have so much money in your bank account, you only got a balance. And you need to balance your bank account, but you ain't gonna have to, because you're gonna be blessed, because everything in your life is falling under the right canopy, which Jesus is the center. Period. You ain't gotta rub his belly. You ain't gotta give him no fruit. You ain't gotta polish him. You know, Buddha. You ain't gonna do none of that. You ain't gonna do none of it. You just sit there and say, Jesus, guide me today. What's my assignment today? Don't let me miss out on anything because I'm petty. You know what? I lay hands on myself all the time going down the road. Come out! Hey! I lay hands on my tongue. I'm like, girl, you messy. You messy today. I will have a whole coat to Jesus. I'll be like, ugh. But then I'm delivered. Give me 10 minutes. I come out like Wonder Woman.
How were you able to find your identity in this world where they tell pastors that they have to be this way? Like, I don't see many pastors like this with the viral quotes on Instagram about spinning the block and like,
Yo, I didn't even know what that meant. I got canceled from the church culture. They put Jesus up there holding a gun with a baby girl sitting in his lap. Real Talk Hill said Jesus gonna spin the block. What y'all think? The church world creamy, but shade room. They came back and said, Pastor Real Talk Hill said God's gonna spin the block. I was like, yeah. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Yes. You know how I got this way? I got free from y'all. I got free from people. I used to lay hands on myself every night because I was so driven by people pleasing. Oh, I'd sit at tables and I'd have to take a folding chair because there wasn't enough room for me. And I was one day thinking, no, I'm not going to sit at a table where I ain't belonging anymore. I'm going to build my own chair. I'm going to bring my own table. I'm going to build it, and I'm going to let everybody sit at that table. And I would just start telling myself every day, Kimberly, you're free from people. What people think about you ain't none of your business. It ain't none of your business. Only hurt people talk about people. People that are going somewhere, we ain't got time to talk about nobody. When you're healthy and whole, you don't care. You want everybody to make it. And that's how I did it. I lay hands on myself, y'all. Listen to me. You ain't got to have no Bible degree. You just learn to lay in your bed, and I just try it. Just try it. God, just help me forgive. I don't know how, but I know I'm cursing my life, praying for my ex to get hit with a train. God, help me get healed from being petty. That's how you pray. And you keep praying it till you get delivered. You hear me? You keep praying. And that's what I did. I said, God, help me get free from people. God, help me not think everybody's talking about me. My fence panties were so wrapped around my neck, I was choking. Everybody talking about me. Ain't nobody talking about you. Everybody's on a fight for their life. A lot of people you think are snobby are just introverts. They scared to death of you. They see you come, they're like, they don't know what to say. And I prayed that. And I said, God, help me get free. And I was doing a conference called Conquering Hell in High Heels. It was my very first conference. And I knew I couldn't preach, so I just brought some of the best preachers in. And I did Conquering Hell in High Heels, and I was laying in my bed one night, and I was scared to death. And I thought, I don't even know what to wear, because, you know, the church world, they all wearing St. John's. And this body is not set up for a St. John's suit. What are we going to do? And I had this idea. I'm going to preach in a tutu. I went and bought me a tutu. This body wasn't set up for no tutu either. But I rocked it for 2 years. I would wear tutus everywhere I went with combat boots.
Brandy.
I did it. And I got on a show called Preachers of Atlanta from Oxygen because of it. So it's like, I got in my own lane. I did something that was really stupid, and I was able to hide kind of behind that tutu, right? And that thing, when I put that tutu on, I preached the paint off the walls. I was like a savage for Jesus. I was like a holy rebel, man. And then all of a sudden, got on Preachers of Atlanta, realized I was free from people because people were talking about me in my tutu, and I didn't care. I was like, you jealous? You jealous because you ain't got no tutu, you hater. Hater, Helen. And I just realized I was free, man. And to this day, when I start feeling that stuff creeping back up on me, because it will. We live in a culture where everybody got to look perfect. You got to be married and have kids at a certain age. And, you know, something's wrong with you if you ain't. And ever so often when that junk starts creeping up on you, you got to talk to yourself. It ain't your husband's job. It ain't your mama's job. It ain't your kid's job. It ain't your boss's job. It ain't nobody's job but yours to be able to look in that mirror and say, girl, what's your name? You so fine. You bad to the bone. You may not be where you want to be today, but you ain't where you used to be. Be nice to you and do what you want to do. Wear what you want to wear and rock it and be confident. And even if your knees are knocking, you still act like you're the most confident person on the planet. Your knees knocking, knock them, baby. Make it look like it's part of your personality. I've discovered if you do everything really positive, like I can't really sing either, but if I sing from my toes. I'll scare you to death because I'm like, ah! And everybody's like, yeah, girl, you can sing. So you just got to do it confidently. And before you know it, you're walking in it. So that's how it got me, and I'm staying here, working.
And we love it. We truly love it. To wrap this episode up, has it been amazing, you guys? It's been so good, and I truly feel so much healing sitting next to you all the time, even when we got a brunch. But oh my God, listen, my hardest challenge in my life is having a community of women that I pour into. I give resources, I give information, I give events, I'm introducing them to people. I do everything to help them grow. But they go to bed with someone that's pulling it out of them. And that is what I face. I have so many of my members, my members, they come to me and they say, you did give me everything. I started the business and I rebranded and I did this and I got my first sales and I got my first 10,000, and then he needed me to loan him the money. Or he needed me to, or he said I wasn't, he said Instagram. And I have a hard time pouring into that woman, and I don't know how to tell her what's next because she has it inside of her. What would you say to that?
Well,
and how do we, someone like me that could help them get to where they're trying to go and where I want them to be, but I can't, the bedroom, they the mindset of this is who I lay with.
You cannot bring medicine to someone that likes to be sick. And so I think that I was her. I think probably all of us in this room have been that damsel in distress and stayed with someone that did not deserve us. I don't know what it is. We go for the ones that don't want us, and we put the ones that are phenomenal to us in the friend zone. And I don't know what it is, because they ain't all that. They're just mean to you. And for some reason, somewhere inside of us, we're attracted to that. until you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. You're going to have you a meltdown, go in that room, have you a meltdown, eat some Haagen-Dazs, and then you come out like a soldier. You got to break the cycle because you cannot help them until they get sick and tired of being a punching bag. You get sick and tired of being at that place where you don't know where he's at. It's the 15th time he's told you he's going to do it and he doesn't do it. Everybody is not your assignment. That's why you're tired. You are not a Build-A-Bear manufacturer. It is not your job to raise a grown man. Do you hear me? The Bible made men to protect women. I know we like to say, I don't need no man. Everything on the inside of you wants a man. Coming up behind you, hello? Is it me you're looking for? Y'all want it. I don't care what y'all say, we all want it. Because God created us that way. When he created Adam, he looked at Adam and said, it is not good for you to be alone. He put him to sleep and brought him back with this rib that was his everything, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. You are a good thing in a man's world. And so if you ain't making a man a good man, he ain't your man. You are the good thing. If that man is making you all bitter and hard, I don't need no man, you with the wrong man. I don't want to submit to a man. Well, then you shouldn't have chose him. Because a man in his proper element is there to guard you, to guide you, to love you, to be there for you. And so when you get the right man, he ain't gonna do none of that. He gonna push you to break through and not break down. He gonna be the wind in your sail, the president of your fan club, your escape and not your duty. Period. Who's gonna wipe your tail? He ain't gonna do it. When you get old and your boobies all sagging down, you better get with somebody that loves all of me, loves all of you, all your big thick thighs, your saggy boobs, all of me. Y'all better get somebody like this man over here that writes 36 love notes. And y'all, stop saying they ain't none out there. Yes, they are. They just ain't looking at a woman that's broke.
Or broken.
That's what I meant. Why you gonna think somebody with a 401k wants your tail when you all broken and... You know I'm saying the truth. I did it, I was hurt. Get yourself together and God gonna bring you a man that's gonna blow your ever-loving mind because God created it that way. He gonna rock your world.
Did y'all love this episode of the Secret Recipe Podcast? I usually film this podcast, with no audience. So when I did Bloom, I said, you know what? I'm going to bring my podcast to the Bloom stage. And did y'all love that? Is it looking like we need to go on tour? I'm super excited. Thank you, Real Talk.
I'm so honored.
How can we buy the book? Where can we find all of your amazing things?
So I am.
You have a community.
Yes.
Give us all the gems.
Yes, I have more of a Jesus community. I get you saved and push you to heaven instead of hell. I have an RTK Inner Circle, which is my mentorship program, and every Monday night at 7 o'clock, I pour into everyone on Zoom, and I talk to you like this. And we have a retreat every 6 months right here in Atlanta at my church. I pastor the greatest church on the planet, y'all, Limitless Church in Fayetteville, Georgia, across from Whitewater High School. I know it's in the woods, but I drive from Buckhead every Sunday. We can all take a carpool or a party bus. Yeah, I pastor an incredible church, and you can find me all over social media at Real Talk Kim. I'm Real Talk Kim on every platform, podcast, YouTube. I preach you happy every Sunday at 10 and 11:30. You can watch me on my YouTube channel live if you can't get in the building. And my book comes out August the 22nd, and you can go pre-order it for signatures. I'm signing those, and that would be so kind of you if you would, because I want to be on the New York
How many of y'all gonna buy it?
Thank y'all.
She also has an Atlanta campus that is like no other, once a month in the, where is it?
Well, right now we're finding a new building.
Oh,
'cause
find a new building.
Plywood was too small, just not working.
Yep.
So I'm looking for a new building. But we do it once a month, pop-up shop. So if y'all follow me on social media, you will see where I'm gonna have my next Atlanta. Atlanta's off the chain.
Did y'all enjoy this? Woo! Thank y'all.
My website's realtalkkim.com. Forgot to say that.
Thank y'all for listening to the Secret Recipe Podcast. Like, subscribe, and share.
All right, y'all, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.